I remember, I'll tell you something interesting about comedy. It's a fascinating story, I think, and it happened to me. I was doing a play, a farce on Broadway called The RITZ, and I later did a film of it. And it's written by Terrence McNally, who is probably one of the funniest living writers that ever happened. And I used to get an enormous laugh on a line that I would do in a scene, and it wasn't a funny line to begin with. It became funny because of what I did with it, which is, really like, wow, that's a big gold star, on your little list of wonderful things I have done. And it used to get but a huge laugh. One day I stopped getting it. And I did everything to get that laugh back. It meant so much to me because I was responsible for that laugh. The line wasn't funny, it was the way I did it. And I began to ask everybody in the cast, watch me in the scene, what am I doing now that I wasn't doing before, or what am I not doing now that I was doing before, to make this different? Why isn't it funny anymore? And I got suggestions from everybody, F. Murray, Abraham, Jack Weston, everybody. And whenever I came, of course, it got to the point where I had asked too many people. And so when I came to that line, it was fraught. And of course, it didn't get the laugh. This went on for 6 months. I never gave up. I never gave up trying to get that laugh back. I found out on my own one day, comedy, oh Lord, it's so ephemeral, that I had to say it this much sooner. Are you seeing this? This much sooner. I had delayed it a little more, and you can't count that. What do you count? 1, 2, now I'll say the line? No, it's instinctive. And I got it back. And the entire cast who was on stage let up a cheer in the wings. And Steve Collins, who was in the scene with me, and F. Murray Abraham and Jack Weston went, and they gave me a big smile. They didn't want to go out of character, but I got the laugh back. And all it meant was saying that line this much sooner. Comedy is so difficult. You know that old thing about dying is easy, but comedy is difficult. And there's a wonderful anecdote about that. The famous theatrical couple, London Fontanne. Do you know this anecdote?
I do know of them, yes.
Do you know the anecdote?
I don't.
About the timing business? She used to get the same kind of laugh when she said, may I have a cup of tea? Because it came at a certain point in the scene, and the people just fall off their chairs. And one day she lost the laugh, just like I did in the Ritz. And she tried everything, and she was too proud to ask her husband, who was her leading man, what am I doing wrong? And kept trying for apparently weeks or months, trying to get it back, and couldn't get it back. Because again, it wasn't a funny line. It was what she did with it, and how she did it, and when she did it. And she finally, in absolute frustration, said, all right, just tell me, what am I doing wrong? He said, well, my darling, he said, when you were getting it right, you were merely asking for a cup of tea. Now you're asking for a laugh. And it's that ephemeral. It's that, you can't touch it. It's so difficult. And that's why actors very often won't tell, in complimenting another actor, won't tell them what they loved about their performances, because you'll then be conscious of what is wonderful about what you did, and it'll never be the same again. And it's true. Directors will never tell you. A good director like Mike Nichols will never tell you why something worked and why it was so wonderful. If you're getting it right, won't tell you till the play's over.